Solve the following pairs of simultaneous equation by substitution method. So we need to use a substitution technique for solving this. So you are given y equals to 2x minus 3, and the second equation is given as 2y plus 3 over 2 is equals to 3x minus 1. So let's copy that two equations. Okay, the first one I call it equation 1, and the second one I call it equation number 2. Now in the first equation, y is already the subject of this expression. So y is simply 2x minus 3, right? So if we go to the second equation and we look at the y here, so we're going to replace that y. We need to get rid of this, right? So we're going to replace this y here with the 2x minus 3. So 2, and then I put a bracket because I'm just going to replace the y with 2x minus 3. So remember, if you take it from equation 1, you got to substitute into equation 2. So don't take it from equation 1 and substitute back into equation 2. Then it's not going to help you to solve the simultaneous equation. So I took equation 1 where y was a subject and I plugged it into the y in equation 2. So I get 2 times 2x minus 3 plus 3 I copy down over 2, which is equals to 3x minus 1. So what do we do next? Next we going to expand. Twice of 2x is of course 4x, and then twice of negative 3 is what we're going to do next. 2 times minus 3 is of course minus 6. I did not do anything with the plus 3. I just copied it down and over 2, and the right hand side still remains as 3x minus 1. Now here we have a couple of numbers, right? Minus 6 and a plus 3, which I can simplify together. Minus 6 and a plus 3 together is going to become minus 3. So I can just write that down. So I have 4x minus 3 over 2 is equals to 3x minus 1. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to cross multiply the 2. So once I cross multiply the 2, because it's a division by 2 that was on the left side, when I throw it over to the right side, division is going to be turned into a multiplication. So I've get a 2 times 3x minus 1. So now we are going to just copy the left side, but the right side we're going to expand the brackets. Okay, twice of 3x is 6x, and then twice of negative 1 is a negative 2. So 6x minus 2 is what happens when you expand the right side. And then let's group the x's to one side and all the constants to the other side. So I had a positive 6x. If I throw it to the left side, it becomes negative 6x, and that's why it becomes 4x minus 6x. I had a negative 3 on the left side, which I throw over to the right side, it became positive 3. So now we have gotten all the x's to one side and all the numbers to the other side. So we take 4x minus 6x, and the 4x, if you subtract the 6x, of course the 6x is a bigger number, right? So it's going to take on the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. So from 4x, if you subtract the 6x, is going to give you negative 2x. And the right side is quite simple. 3 minus 2 is of course a 1. So negative 2 times x is equals to 1. So negative 2 is a multiplier, but what I need to have is just the x, right? So what we can do is we can just throw the multiply by minus 2 over to the other side, become divide by minus 2. So if you take a positive 1 divided by negative 2, it's of course going to become negative 0.5. So x value, okay, is negative 0.5. That actually gives option A or D as the right answer. So you can see C is definitely wrong. So we actually, when we are told to solve simultaneous equation, we need to find the values of x as well as the values of y. So now we have gotten x is equals to negative 0.5. We need to now work out what's the value of y, right? So I'm just going to take this x equals to negative 0.5 and substitute that into the first equation, which is y is equals to twice of x then minus a 3, right? So we're going to substitute into this equation. So y is equals to twice of the x value, which is negative 0.5, and then minus 3. So twice of negative 0.5 would of course be negative 1, and negative 1, and then a negative 3, minus 1, minus 3. So altogether it becomes minus 4. So the y coordinate should be minus 4, and therefore only option D gives x is negative 0.5 and y as negative 4. So that's the correct option.